and welcome. I'm AM Fietti, the host of Cloud, Code, and Computing, or Triple C. No, I'm just kidding. This is AWS On Air. I'm AM Grabelny. I'm a solution architect here at AWS, here to talk to you about all the latest and greatest happening at AWS. I'm joined by my wonderful friend, Steve. Steve, tell the people about yourself, please.
You say that every time, but behind the scenes, we know it's a different story. Hello, my friend. It's good to be back with you on air again. I'm Steve Roberts, the developer advocate for .NET and PowerShell at AWS. So here we are with another Friday show.
Yes. So if you're tuning in for the first time ever, AWS On Air brings you all of the things that you should care about as a loyal fan of AWS like we are. And we are here today with very exciting new features, talking with some service teams, and going to get hands-on with some demos too. That's one of my favorite parts.
That's the best part.
On air is the hands-on demo, right,
Mm-hmm.
Steve?
Yep. Show me the code, and if you can't show me the code, show me the console.
Or both sometimes.
Or both, even better. Yeah.
Yeah. Go write code directly in the Lambda console, right? Like that's the best practice. That's how I do it.
It demos well.
So Steve, what are we going to be talking about today? Should we give a sneak peek?
Oh, Aaron says hello, and why are we shouting? I don't know. Are we shouting? I didn't tell I was shouting.
It's the only level I've got, Aaron. I'm sorry. That's it. I just have off and shouting. That's all I've got.
That's all he's got. All right. Well, Aaron's stalking us again. That's good. I guess this is where he learns about AWS, so he can then go and teach AWS. It's good, right? Yeah. What are we talking about today? So I believe we have StackSets team.
We do. We're going to be talking about some StackSets, so cloud formation. One of my favorites.
Some cloud formation action, and also some QuickSight action. New feature in QuickSight.
So some analytics then. Some
analytics, visualization. Yeah. So this is going to be cool.
Charts.
Oh, and of course, we shouldn't forget, we have Cloudbase.
Couchbase.
Couchbase. I wrote Cloudbase. Why did I write Cloudbase? Couchbase. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
You got it. I did that video, so they're going to see my face here in a few minutes when we go to that.
That's scary.
So, I know, isn't it? Anytime my face appears, very scary. Great. So, Steve, number one, what's your favorite type of business analytics chart graph? What do you like? A pie chart? Do you like
not pie chart? No.
A scatter graph?
Is there a .NET chart? No. I like to keep it simple. Nice, simple bar graph. That does me.
A bar graph. Okay. Okay.
Yep. But don't make me do the math, because
we're going to see about maybe, having those created for you, and then where you could put those later on. Don't want to give away too much. You got to watch, right? Yeah. So another interesting thing about AWS On Air, if you're just tuning in, you've already seen it happen. We like to interact with our audience. So please, any questions you have, post them in chat. We'll try and get our experts to answer those. We may answer them. We may be the expert.
And of course, tell us where you're joining from, because we love to see that.
Yes, totally. So feel free to chat anytime that you want into the chat box, and we will try and get those questions answered throughout the show. But next, we have our friends from
Couchbase. I've got the wrong glasses on. That's my defense. It's a tiny font.
So hey there, and welcome back to AWS On Air. I'm here with a very special guest. My name is AM Grabelny. I'm a solutions architect here at AWS and longtime host of one of my favorite shows on the planet, AWS On Air. But I'm here today with Matthew from Couchbase. Matthew, do you want to tell us about yourself, please?
Oh, hi there. Thanks for having me on the show, AM. I appreciate it. I am a product marketing manager. I work for Couchbase. But my background's actually in application development. I'm a developer. I'm a coder at heart. So I'm working with the marketing team to try and make our marketing a little more useful, a little more helpful for developers.
I love that, and we bonded off camera too on our love for .NET. So already fast friends, you and I, Matthew. So yeah, Couchbase. I actually am pretty familiar with Couchbase, mostly actually from that app dev side, specifically mobile apps.
Right.
Couchbase has this really cool feature of having an embedded version of the database on the device. I think it's called Couchbase Lite, and it syncs up, right? Even when offline, it will sync up the next time it has connectivity. But I wanted to talk to you more about Couchbase, and it's a NoSQL database. It's a document store. These are all things that we could talk deeply about. There are a lot of NoSQL choices, right, out there. What makes Couchbase unique?
Yeah, there are a lot of choices. It's almost too many choices out there in the database world and database related tooling, right? But the issue with all those tools is that a lot of them are really good at one thing, right? So you might have a really good caching server, you might have a really good JSON database, and a really good text search tool, right? But before you know it, you end up with 5 or 6 of these tools, right, in one application or one enterprise. And not just the tools themselves, but the integrations that connect the data between them. So getting the ETLs and all the pipelines set up so that the newest data in the JSON makes its way into the search engine and so on. And that approach is something that's a little bit costly, right? Even if those are all free licenses or low-cost tools, the time you spend integrating those and keeping all those upgraded and maintaining those and building integrations costs a lot of time and money. So one of the things that Couchbase does as a NoSQL database is has a lot of those tools already available inside the same cluster, the same database, right? So it's a JSON database, yes, right? It's also a built-in managed cache layer, so caching is built in. Querying is built in. We'll talk about querying maybe a little bit later, but full text search indexing is built in, right? So it's the same pool of data, just you're creating a different index for it. Analytics engine is also built in. And you mentioned, of course, the mobile use cases, the synchronization, the offline first, automatic synchronization, all in the same database there. So I think that's one thing that makes Couchbase unique and valuable is the ability to have all those features, even if you don't need them right away. You may just start with a simple key value database, but then you want to expand to do more querying, to do text search and so on. And it's all there. You don't have to bolt on another tool or another integration to make that happen.
That's super cool. I mean, and one thing people often overlook too is that when you do have a lot of different database choices, you have to have people that know about those databases too. And it's hard to find overlap between so many different database types and the skill sets that people bring to the table. So it's either you find a unicorn or you find a bunch of people and hire a bunch of people, which both are very difficult to do sometimes. So that's really cool that it's all there for you in one database. Speaking of, some companies still using relational databases. I'd say probably most companies still using relational databases, and those aren't going away anytime soon. I think also a subset of companies have yet to move to NoSQL. With that move to NoSQL, do my skills at all translate from the relational world into this NoSQL world? Is there, a lot of databases in the NoSQL world have their own unique query languages, things like that I have to learn. What about Couchbase?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. A lot of those databases, they take the NoSQL very literally and say, you don't use SQL with our database, you have to learn something else, right? And that can be off-putting sometimes for someone like me, maybe like you, who spent a lot of my career, all of my career, in fact, working with SQL as a language. And it's a very powerful language, concise, declarative, and very familiar. And lots of expertise has been built up around that since it was first introduced in the late 70s, right? So one thing Couchbase is doing is taking a different approach. We're taking a more of a best of both worlds approach, right? So let's have SQL available for querying JSON. And it's called SQL++. And Couchbase has been invested in that for a long time. And it's not just, it doesn't just look like SQL, right? A lot of the languages out there look like SQL, but this is SQL that you know and love. So it has joins available. It has common table expressions and aggregation and all the normal CRUD stuff that you expect, insert, update, delete, select, merge, all the keywords and functions you'd expect. And plus it has some more, the plus plus. Because we're dealing with JSON data, not tables, right? So there's some things that are different about JSON that SQL has to handle there. So it's backwards compatible, but it is familiar. It includes also ACID transactions as well, begin, commit, rollback. So if you want to, I don't want to go too deep into it because I could talk about it for a couple hours, but a full SQL implementation available for JSON data. So best of both worlds, I think.
That's super cool. Yeah, you get to reuse skills that you may have learned already that oftentimes don't translate for other databases. So that's really neat. I like that a lot. I love the plus plus also. That's just like icing on the cake, so to speak. But yeah, what do you see customers using Couchbase for? When I think of Couchbase for my applications, what should I be thinking?
Yeah. So Couchbase works for a wide variety of use cases, but some of the more common ones that we see are user profile management. So public website managing thousands, hundreds of thousands of users is great for a document database, especially one with a built-in caching layer, very quick access to user profiles. Same with session storage, very similar to user profile. We're tracking information about shopping carts and what a user is doing, and that can change a lot. So a very flexible data store is important for that. And then similarly, catalog and other content management systems where, again, your data is not very homogeneous. It can vary from item to item, and a flexible data store is important for that. And the last one, of course, is one you already mentioned, which is the mobile app services. Something that a lot of Couchbase customers do is for field management apps. So where you're out in the field somewhere, out in the world, the physical world, actually beyond my office. Sometimes people go out there. Yeah.
Is there a place? I'm unfamiliar, but.
But out there in the world, connectivity may not always be perfect, right? You may not always have a very strong cell signal or a Wi-Fi signal or whatever. So if you're delivering packages, like a UPS, for instance, you're scanning devices, and if you don't have any sort of connectivity, you still need to scan the barcode when you're delivering things, right? And have people sign for stuff. Healthcare, we're delivering vaccines and other important medicine to people in remote areas. You need to be able to track that stuff, right? If you're out in a warehouse or an airport somewhere, a signal's not always going to work. We talked about one fun one before the show, cruise ships.
Cruise
ships, an area where, if you have your normal back end that requires going over the internet, that's just not going to work. So something that can work on site, and once you have connectivity, you can start syncing up to your data center, but it'll still work even when you don't have connectivity.
If I ever go on a cruise, Couchbase will be the first thing on my mind. I can promise you that. So obviously, there are different ways to run Couchbase. I'm familiar, like I said, with the embedded, the server, and the gateway. Again, these are all pieces that I could go deploy to somewhere like AWS, for example.
Absolutely.
What's the easiest way to run Couchbase, though, Matthew?
Yeah, so one of the relatively new things for us in the last couple of years has been something called Couchbase Capella. This is our DBaaS, database as a service, fully managed offering. So if you want to run Couchbase on your own VMs, you can still do that and still manage it yourself if you need that kind of control, right? But Capella will save you a lot of time and a lot of money from having to manage things like upgrades and security patches and all that kind of stuff that just takes up a lot of our time and doesn't actually deliver something of value to our customers, right? So Couchbase Capella is what I recommend to get started. There's a free 30-day trial, no credit card for that. So if you want to try it out, just go to the URL here in the chat. I think we'll paste it in there, and check that out.
I love it. Again, I say this all the time. If it's free, it's for me. So definitely want to try that trial out. If I could just summarize from what I've heard, number one, the flexibility that like not having a schema brings, and having this, stored as a JSON object lets me, iterate on my data model without significant changes to the database. I think that's a great value from Couchbase. Two, it's got search, analytics. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of the things that you said earlier, but a lot of different types of what you would look at other NoSQL databases to do built in, so you don't have to go out and find another one. 3, one of my favorites, the embedded, right? Like the offline synchronization for things like cruise ships, right? Like where there is no internet. So syncing data, that's not a trivial thing to do, right? That actually is pretty difficult if you've ever had to do it, which I have. It's not fun without something like Couchbase. And then finally, I don't have to manage the infrastructure of where this runs. I can use Capella. Patches are going to be run for me. That sounds awesome. Anything else that you'd like to leave our viewers, Matthew, that I missed in my summarization?
No, I think you just about covered it there. It's a familiar tooling as well, right? So if you're used to SQL, you can keep on using that and be productive a lot quicker than if you had to learn a language from scratch.
All right. See, I did miss one, so I'm glad you picked that up. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, go out, check out Couchbase today. Get that free trial of Capella, right? Stick around for more on AWS On Air, and we will be right back.
And indeed, I believe we are back.
Quick wardrobe change for me.
Very quick wardrobe change. Do you know, I was thinking during that session, the mention of cruise ships without internet, that sounds like an absolute nightmare.
Right? Yeah.
What would I do?
I've seen some cruise ships with some better internet though coming out. So I think we've got that to look forward to.
Okay,
Steve.
that's good.
You could still work while you're on your cruise, because I know that's what you're thinking.
What is this work thing you're talking about?
You could take email. Maybe we could do an AWS On Air.
Oh, AWS On Air cruise. Now you're talking. All right.
Yes. And Matthew's in chat too. So if you have questions about Couchbase, it was a lot of fun to record with Matthew. He's been answering throughout. Yeah, I'm with Matthew too. When I'm on vacation, I do not want internet. I love that.
Yeah, that's what my wife says. I do not want internet. I'm the other way around, I'm afraid. There you go. All right. One thing we forgot to mention in the intro was that we have a survey. So keep watching, please. And the first 50 respondents, I believe, get a $10 AWS usage credit. So it's worth submitting the survey. We'll remind you periodically, but there you go. Now you know straight from the host that we have a survey. Stay tuned.
All right. So we've got some friends coming in with us now, right? So let's add them to the stream and get that party going. All right. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Team StackSet. I jumped ahead before.
A tiny bit, just a tiny bit, yes.
Yeah, it's okay. That's how you know it's live.
That's true.
Please introduce yourself. Let's start with Wei. Wei, tell us a little bit about you and what you're here to talk about.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wei. I'm the manager of CloudFormation StackSets team. Our team has about 13 engineers. And our team is an independent service in CloudFormation. We have a CloudFormation to scale up for multiple regions and multiple accounts. So imagine that if you own like hundreds and even thousands of accounts, you need some service to manage all those accounts. And StackSets is the service that help you to make that happen. So I have been in CloudFormation for about 2 years, and with the Amazon whole company for about 9 years. Yeah, that's about me.
Nice. Please. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's my turn now. It's my cue, right?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Parijat. I'm the senior product manager for StackSets. I've been part of the Amazon family for almost 1.5 years, and I'm a new member to the StackSets team. So really excited to be on the show. Thank you, Am. Thank you, Steve, for hosting our team. And thank you, AWS On Air. So excited to be on the call.
Awesome. All right. So we're here today to talk about StackSets, which fall into the larger category of CloudFormation. So we've talked about CloudFormation a lot on this show in the past. Love CloudFormation personally. Can you give us just a quick, maybe like less than a minute introduction to what CloudFormation is for anybody who has yet to use it, who's watching?
Oh yeah, absolutely am. So CloudFormation is one of the IAC tools that we provide as part of AWS offering. And what we mean by IAC is like infrastructure as code. So today, when you're trying to orchestrate, manage, and provision a lot of these infrastructure, it gets a lot of like muddy. There's a lot of like manual processes that you have to do. And we wanted to simplify that. So CloudFormation provides you a simple JSON or YAML template that allows a declarative format of provisioning that kind of cloud infrastructure. So what StackSet does differently, or it kind of enhances the capacity and capability of CloudFormation is CloudFormation today, the templates can provision that architecture for a single region, single account. StackSet enhances and makes it scalable, right? So you have cross account, cross region, and all of those kind of infrastructure deployment, which StackSet makes it as simple as single operation. So
Okay.
so that's I hope that kind of answers your question, Am. But yeah, we have a lot of customers. We have enterprise customers from ranging from healthcare industry to automotive industry, the energy sector using our products. Really excited to talk about some of the use cases and how to get started with StackSets.
Yeah, so you mentioned use cases, right? So let's roll back a little bit. So you just introduced what StackSets kind of are. Let's dig a little bit deeper into exactly what they are, and what are the use cases that these are particularly aimed at? Where are the benefits of adopting StackSets, say, over just a single CloudFormation template?
That is an excellent question, Steve. So there are a couple of very popular use cases where customers are using us for. So one of the most famous one is bootstrapping AWS accounts. So if you really want to baseline a lot of your organization units, your teams, and ensure like there are certain governance or policies that you want to make sure as part of that baselining process, StackSets becomes like a very good solution for that. But there are also other complex problems that you can solve with StackSets. One particular one that comes to my mind is disaster recovery. So a lot of enterprise customers really use StackSets in tandem with AWS Backup to have that kind of a disaster recovery solution. There are also interesting problems where customers are using our product to collect data about the cost or like how much the resources are really like being utilized, right? So you have cross account, cross region, a lot of resources being deployed. How do I now estimate what's going on? So there are a lot of these variety of problems that you can solve with our tool. But again, at the base of it, StackSets, what it does, it allows you to manage, provision, and orchestrate cloud infrastructure, cross account, cross region within the AWS ecosystem. So, and I hope that kind of like answers the question, Steve.
Yeah, the cross account, cross region particularly seems like a big win, right? Especially for enterprises, right?
Yes.
Where who knows what extent of infrastructure they're trying to provision across, I don't know how many accounts and regions, right? That does sound like a really huge benefit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I was gonna move us into so you told us earlier when we were talking before the show about the two different methods of working with StackSets. I believe the self-service model and the service model. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Can you tell us more about those, please, and how that factors into using StackSets?
Alrighty. So today, whenever a customer comes on to StackSets, right, like you suggested, that there is the self model and the service model. So let's just look into the service model first. So within the service model, what we do is we kind of like orchestrate or help the customer have a managed experience of their product. Whereas the self, if I had to really simplify, is you are doing the orchestration of like, which is your target audience, and you're going on the console and CLI and doing it through ClickOps or even DevOps to maintain and target all of the infrastructure. Within the service model, what we do is as a team, we kind of take on the role of the provisioning on a customer side. If you want to deploy an infrastructure to an organization unit, the service model plays like a very critical role in that. So if I really had to simplify this, the self model is where we give the power and the flexibility of the orchestration to the user. Whereas in the service model, it's again goes back to the managed experience where we take on the role of that provisioning for the customer.
Okay. We have some questions coming in from chat, specifically about the disaster recovery use case that you mentioned earlier. Is there any way you can go a little more in depth into what that looks like and how it's employed with StackSets?
we do have amazing blogs that kind of talk about
nice.
this. But I will definitely share the link within the internal channel once that's done. But if I had to go like 10,000 feet on the air to just talk about how disaster recovery really works, a few of our customers, what they do is you have, let's say, within an organization unit, you have a multiple AWS account for one region, right? And you want to have another backup region, right, with all the same AWS account. So what you can easily do with StackSets is you can provision, you can have, let's say, a leader stack template where you're creating that depends on dependency between these multiple StackSets and have some sort of like a global KMS key that you are kind of replicating in these other regions within the same organization. So that kind of like really plays a very nifty role in like that disaster recovery piece. Although that being said, we have comprehensive like blogs, and we also have a lot of workshop that kind of dwells a layer deeper into it. So I would definitely request the audience to go on the search engines and find it out. And I'll definitely share that once we're done with this podcast today.
Cool. So I don't know about you, Ian, but I'm kind of thinking that now would be a good time for a demo.
Yeah. Let's see this in action. Maybe we can
talk about it. Yeah.
Get more ideas from that too, for sure. Are you ready, Wei?
Yeah.
All
so
right.
let's see a cool demo for StackSets. All right. So let's switch screen. Right. So you can find the StackSets service under CloudFormation. So in the console, just go to CloudFormation. And here you can find the StackSets. So today we are going to do a demo to create a StackSets in the service managed model. So in order to use the service managed model for StackSets, first you need to create your own AWS organization. AWS organization previously we mentioned it's a directory service that allows you to manage your AWS accounts in a hierarchy structure, so that you can group your accounts by, let's say, by organization, by your team. So let me first bring you to AWS organization. AWS organization is an independent service. So StackSets has close integration with AWS organization. So you can see that here I create a sample org for my team. I call it my team, and under this OU, that is organizational unit, I put a couple of my testing account, the test account 1 and the test account 2.
So why can I just ask you a quick question while you're doing that? This ties to the service model, right?
Yes, exactly.
Organizations. Okay.
Right. So the good thing for a service model is that it's a fully managed experience, so that once your StackSet is integrated with your AWS organization, so for any operations like adding or removing an account, your StackSets associated with this org will automatically to create and remove the Stack instance for you. So it's a kind of like a hand-free experience.
Okay. Thanks.
So once you have this organization setup ready, you can go back to StackSet. And create a new StackSet is very simple. So the default option is the service managed permission, and you can upload your own template. So in this case, let me choose a sample file.
Are StackSets only at the organizational unit, or can I have one like at the account level too?
That's a good question. So it depends on the model. So in the self-serviced permission, so that means you have a full control of what you want to deploy to. Definitely, you can select individual accounts. And in the service managed permission, the default target is organization units.
Okay.
You can select multiple OUs. But in addition to that, we provide you a filter so that you can target specific accounts. For example, let's say I know that one account currently is broken. I want to avoid that account. So you can apply that filter to avoid deployment to that account. We can go through that later.
That's cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Right. So once we have the template, let's go to the next step. Let's give it a name. Let's say AWS On Air demo.
That proves it's live.
All those are default parameters. Let's go to here. So here you can see there are a couple of options. One is to create a new stack, and in addition to that, we also allow you to import your existing stacks to StackSet, so that can help you avoid to tear down your existing stack and import and recreate them in StackSet.
Oh, so if I have an existing CloudFormation template, I could still use it with this?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
And here we call it deployment targets. In service managed model, you can target either the root OU, which will apply to all the accounts in your AWS organization, or you can target a specific OU. So in our case, let's target the OU I just created. It's called my team. So let's copy the OU ID here and put it here. And here it comes to the filter I just mentioned. So if you see that in my org, I want to skip some accounts, or I only want to target a specific accounts, you can use this filter. It's called a count filter. So you can select the type of filter like intersection, difference, and union. Those filters, they have a different functionality. Like intersection, it allows you to include only specific accounts. Difference will exclude some accounts, and the union will allow you to include some accounts in additional to the existing OU.
Got some set mathematics. There.
Yeah. And once you have those information ready, you can click next.
Yes. Region.
Yeah, you need to provide region. So let's select multiple regions because that is the advantage for StackSets. Let's select US East and US West.
Okay.
Click next. It will generate a summary. So let's review it and make sure everything is ready. Okay, just submit.
Nice. So this is like built-in multi-region redundancy then.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
So we can see that the deployment is currently running. And you can also see what stack instances are being created. You can see that currently there are 4 stack instances. The initial state is always outdated, so don't panic and just keep.
I like it. Don't panic.
Right. So
there's one current. Yeah.
The first one is already created.
Yep.
Let's keep refreshing. The second one is ready. Third one is ready.
Right.
All right.
So multiple regions, multiple accounts. This is all getting deployed across the board to all those from one essentially configuration point when you created that stack set. You didn't have to go and make sure these went out into all these different regions and accounts.
Yeah. Now, what I'm wondering at this point is you did that cross-region, cross-account deployment from the console, but does this play nicely with automation?
Yes. StackSets is available in both CLI command line and also SDK. So you can write your own script and your own service to invoke StackSets.
So if I was setting up a CI/CD pipeline, I could still use this to use the CI/CD pipeline to target this cross-region, cross-account.
Yes, exactly. And StackSets also has the integration with AWS code pipeline, so that you can set up a pipeline that initiated from your repository, for example, like a GitHub. Whenever you make a change to your template, it will trigger the event through the code pipeline and automatically update your stack set.
That's nice.
One other thing too, CDK. Wait, can I access StackSets in the CDK?
Yes, of course. Very integrated with CDK.
I love it. I love it.
I like it. I always like the answer of yes, of course. That is a great answer.
Anything else to show us, Wei? We could bring Parajat back in if not.
Well, that's it for the demo. So you can see that creating a new stack set with in the service management model is quick and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Yeah, that was easy. Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's get your screen off and let's get Parjat back in. There we go. How's it going, Parjat? Thanks for. Sorry, we needed the real estate so we could see everybody. And
No worries, Wei. I mean, I'm sorry. Wei, excellent demo. I hope like the audience today learned something new about our product and just so simple it is to use StackSets. It's not like very complicated, just a few click ops and there you go. Boom. You can like launch multi-region, multi-account.
Or automation.
All automation, anything, right?
Yeah, let me ask the probably the obvious question. This is my superpower, by the way. I always like to say this is my superpower. Ask the obvious, sometimes stupid questions. That's kind of my thing. So, what happens when I update like the template? Can I update the actual underlying CloudFormation template from the StackSet level and then have those updates, just fan out to all of those accounts and all of those regions? How do I handle modifications essentially to the underlying CloudFormation template?
That's a good question. So if you update your template, you can run update stack instance operation in StackSet. So that will automatically to create the change set and find out which stack instances are different from your new template.
Okay, cool.
Oh
Steve.
yeah, and one short plug here, right? We recently launched this thing called account level targeting, something that we were just alluding to in the demo, with the whole intersection, difference, and union, because we did want to provide some sort of flexibility to our customers in the managed experience. So let's say you want to skip a bunch of AWS accounts from your organization unit and you want to just deploy in a hyper-specific pool of accounts or even like skip it out, you can use that account level targeting. We just launched it last month, so we are very much excited. We see this feature has a really great adoption. So any user of StackSets who's on the service model, feel free to use our new feature.
Nice. I'm going to ask a two-parter question here. Number one, I'm a customer. I use StackSets. I want to ask for a new feature. How do I do that? Do you have a way of getting feature requests from customers? And number two, what's on your radar, right? Like what have you heard from customers that you're interested in looking into adding to StackSets? Anything you can talk about there?
That is an excellent question, So I guess depending on the customer type, if you're an enterprise customer who is deeply integrated with AWS service, do feel free to reach out to your respective technical account managers, because we do have an internal tool that collects all of these information that customers have requested. But if you are, let's say, an individual developer or maybe a startup that's just starting out, so you can just go to the console itself. The console has a feedback tool as part of the console offering. So we do collect and see all the featured updates from the console. And the third channel that I would recommend is just reaching out to us on Twitter. So CloudFormation, we have like a very active Twitter handle. So if you just tweet us saying that, hey, we don't like your tool, fix this problem, I can definitely guarantee you one of us will get pinged. We will look into it and we will definitely work and fix it. But the main question that you've asked, Am, is like, what are some of the things that we are excited about this year, right? Or in the upcoming future. So a lot of our customers have requested that they would want visibility about the failed stack instances. So today, when you are using StackSet, you can set some sort of like modularity in terms of your concurrency and your failure tolerance. And let's say if your failure tolerance is set to 0, our engine will definitely go on deploying the infrastructure irrespective of within a stack instance level, the failure is happening or not. So what we wanted to provide that one sense of visibility to our customers so that they get an impression of what are some of the failed instances that are happening during a deployment of StackSets, and also provide the visibility of drifted resources. So today, if you have a StackSet and there is an underlying drifted resources, you have to move back and forth multiple consoles and like go to different accounts to really see and zoom into like which one was a drifted one. So we do want to have a simplified experience where you get all of that experience without moving into multiple tools and have it on the go. There are also other interesting things that we are currently looking into, such as like integrating ourselves with AWS Event Bridge so that customers get a log, like they get the log of a lot of these events that in terms of updating a StackSet, creating StackSet, so on and so forth. And also we're thinking about scalability. Today, as you all know, StackSet has limits and we want to expand that limits because we see that it's it is one of the barriers of scalability for a lot of our customers. So be on a lookout for all of those interesting things coming down in the horizon.
Yeah, that sounds cool. If I'm not using StackSets today, very briefly, because we're really close on time, is where should I go?
There is a blog which talks about how to get started with StackSets. So I will post it on the channel, and that easily explains how to get started with the self and service model. But that being said, there are a lot of other YouTube content that we are planning to create. We also are hoping that we'll keep coming, be a recurring member of the show. So next month we do plan to showcase how to really start building your application cross account and cross region. Last month we were joined by our excellent partners at Capital One. So we do expect to keep coming back to the show, showcase our product, and that would be hopefully help a lot of our customers out there.
Cool. All right. That's wonderful. Wayne, Persia, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you back again. It sounds like maybe next month.
Yeah,
absolutely. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. We will be right back with our next guests.
And just like that.
Just like that, here we are.
Magic. Right?
Cool.
All right.
Who do we have here now?
Yeah, Vijay, tell us, who are you? What are you here to talk about?
Hello, all. I'm Vijay Chaudhary. I'm software engineer with AWS. I worked on Amazon QuickSight, which is a cloud-native business intelligence service, which lets you build the interactive visualizations and reports and deliver those to your users and customers. It's also embeddable, so you can build your analytics applications inside your website and brand it the way you need.
All right.
So QuickSight, okay. I'm familiar with QuickSight, but I always like to consider the audience in case anybody's tuning in, never heard of it. There are a lot of AWS services after all, so it's very difficult to be relevant and keep up to date with all of them. It sounds like a business analytics tool, right? Or a business intelligence tool, right? BI, I think, is maybe the category that it would fit in. Is that fair, Vijay?
Yes, that's fair. Yes.
And just like under a minute, what would I do with QuickSight if I had never heard of it? How would I use it in a typical business?
In a typical business, you want to look at the metrics of your business, your sales, how your users are interacting with your product. You want to provide all these services to your customers. So in all these contexts, QuickSight comes into picture and business intelligence comes into picture. We help our customers build all the visualizations required to get the deeper data insights into what they're doing, help their users get those insights, and that's all we do. We provide the customers.
You do a lot more than that, but okay.
Well, Steve, like think about you and I both have been on engineering teams in the past. Oftentimes you've got a lot of data coming out of your software products, and if you try and go show that raw data to, let's say, someone in the C-suite, we won't name any names or roles of people in the C-suite. They don't really want to read a bunch of like CSV.
They want to see graphics, right?
They want to see a picture, right? And they want to see things charted over time and how it compares to other things. But that takes effort, right? To transform that raw data into a visualization. And let's be honest, Steve, you and I, we probably have more important things to do when we were on those engineering teams than build charts and graphs and things.
Well, actually, I'm thinking even more important than that, though, is visualizations need data.
Yeah.
Right? So with QuickSight, where's the data coming from? You mentioned like customers and sales and things like that, but what are the raw data sources that you can use?
Yeah, there are like 20, 30 plus. I might be underestimating a number of data sources. You can pull in from lots of AWS systems. You can pull in your data from Salesforce. You can pull in from Twitter. If you have data in your database like DynamoDB, you can export it and connect it to QuickSight and start getting insights within a few minutes also.
Yeah, so that's a great piece right there too, Steve, is not only do I not have time to go build these charts and graphs, I also don't have time to integrate my data sources to go and build those charts and graphs to begin with, right? So QuickSight has me covered. That's a pretty good selling point, VJ. I like that. I like that.
If you have just a spreadsheet, gone are the days to create visualizations inside the spreadsheet. You have Excel, upload it, create the visualizations, and you have it. It's stored in the cloud, always secured and safe, and you can always get back to it. You can share it with others. It's very easy that way.
Yeah, sharing brings me on to the idea of this embedding, right? So today, what's available in the embedding space regarding QuickSight?
So gone are the days where business intelligence was only in the reports, where everyone would come and see the reports every week or every month, and that's it. We as a world, in the technology world, we advanced to cloud native business intelligence, but we're taking it further. Now you can use these business intelligence dashboards or whatever you built there and embed it in your internal website, or you can embed it in your external website, which is like a SaaS software. You can brand that analytics capability and sell that and provide lots of data visualization and analytics capabilities to your users. It always helps in bringing up the value of your product as a customer, as a service provider, and always helps your users in improving their productivity because they have the insights at the fingertips.
So effectively put the data where the users are, don't make them come to the data where it is.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Steve, we've got 2 more problems solved with this imaginary C-suite that you and I are reporting up our software product metrics to. Okay, number 1, like we don't have to generate that report anymore per month. They can just always come in and see it. Number 2, the C-suite person that we're talking to refused to log into QuickSight. They just said, I don't know what this is. I'm not logging in. And they will only log into the normal thing that they're used to working in. So we can embed it. VJ, let me ask you this. Do I have to embed an entire dashboard full of graphs and charts and things, or can I pick and choose?
It's a good question. That's actually what we recently launched. It's now you can not just embed the whole dashboard and have it on your dedicated analytics page, but you can take up bits and pieces of that dashboard. You can pick the charts that you want the users to see and get the insights on variety of pages on your website. It doesn't have to be confined to your analytics section. It doesn't have to be confined to one full page. You can have other data that you're pulling on a different page. You just want to show a metric. You don't have to build the whole backend and front end just to show those metrics. If you have them available through QuickSight, you can show them just that particular part in anywhere on your page. Could be your home page, landing page, and all this is done cloud native. You don't have to build so you don't have to buy servers.
I love it. I love not having to buy servers. That's great. And now, this imaginary C-suite that I keep talking about, there was another C-suite member that was very jealous that they didn't get their own specific charts and graphs, but I didn't want to build 2 dashboards. So now I don't have to. So I can just pull them out and present it like it's 2 different dashboards. But really, it's all coming from the same data, same source, same dashboard that I use. But I've embedded these just 1 or 2 graphs in each of these C-suite members' custom pages, and they're both happy now. We could go back to making software, Steve. No more reporting. It's great. It just happens. We don't have to worry about that. Should we see it? Like, what do you think, Steve?
I vote we should see it.
All right, VJ, you ready?
Yeah.
You know me. Show me the console or show me the code.
All right, we got your screen pulled up, VJ.
Yeah, so here I have a full dashboard that I built from a sample sales data. let's say you want to show, you are embedding this whole dashboard, that's fine. But if you want to show just small parts of it on a page where you have some relevant information about about that chart, now you can do it. So I've built one sample.
So that was what we would have had to embed before.
The
right?
entire
We'd had to take the entire thing, even with data that may not be relevant to the target audience.
Right. You would have to have this whole dashboard on a page, and then the user will have to then think about their context. If the context is only for one of the charts, they'll have to look through for a specific chart, and then they'll have to navigate between the pages, like the page where they were doing the work and the page where they have actually the analytics information. Now we're letting the customers pull that analytics data onto the page where they actually need, and don't have to embed the whole dashboard on the full page.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. So for the demo, I have built one fake site to show how we can do it. Let's say I have some information. I may have some data that I'm pulling in from other online services, and I just want to show some visualizations in particular places, so I can make sense of the content even better when I look at the metrics alongside with it. So I have this fake page, fake website. It is real. The content is fake, and I'm going to need to show two of the visuals on this page. So I'm going to show one of the ways of getting the embedded visuals. For embedding a specific visual, now the customers see this embed visual option. All they have to do for embedding is just get the code of that, put it in your HTML page for wherever you want. I just copied it and put my code into HTML. And I'll do the same thing for another chart. I just copied it. In a bit, I'll show you the code that I've copy pasted.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah. So if you check here, the page source of this page right now, before going anywhere, is that it just has this content, and I have a placeholder where I want the charts to. I've copy pasted the iframe code that I got through the.
Can you just up the zoom level on that font a tiny bit? I got old eyes,
sure.
as we heard at the beginning of the program. So there we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I have this placeholder where I want the charts to go, and I don't want the whole dashboard to show up and confuse the user. I've added the code in my file. I'll just upload it to S3, where I've created that website. I've hosted the website.
But yeah, while this is uploading, I mean, essentially this will work anywhere that you can render HTML, I would assume. Like any internal sites, running on something like SharePoint, static sites on S3, server rendered pages like ASP.NET or something. As long as you can embed HTML and render that HTML, you're good to go. Is that fair?
Yeah. Right. And this is one way if you are not a developer and you just want a quick way to get the specific charts on a content that you're writing. Maybe it's your internal wiki page. You can take that code right into add to the HTML of your wiki page, and there you go. You have the charts. Let me refresh this page to see if the content has been updated. It was getting cached. I think it was invalidating the cache. So
there you go.
All I did was I copied the code I got from the QuickSight webpage, the dashboard. That code is this single line. I pasted it in my HTML. I uploaded to my server, the web server, and that's it. After deployment, I have the charts.
Cool.
Now, I don't have to build the whole dashboard.
Well, I like it. This is my level of development, right? Go to the control, click on it. Even if it's clicking, it's not automation. You click on it, get the link, paste it, and go. I like that.
What's the other option, Vijay? You said there was more than just clicking on the embed button.
So you can just do this, copy code, right? Put it into your HTML, and there you go. In this case, my dashboard is public, but you can have it authenticated also. It'll give you a pop-up for credentials, and after you're authenticated, you can keep using it for showing as many visuals through that session as needed. There is another way, which ISVs who build the websites for their users and provide SaaS softwares, they normally do it through programming. And for that, you can we have added one more option in our API operation that lets you send the IDs for a specific visual that you want to embed, and those IDs can be copied from here. You just copy them, add it into your code. There's a specific experience configuration you have to pass, and you get a pre-signed URL, which we can add the same way to your HTML, like we had here. And you will have the chart embedded. It will show look and feel wise. It will be exactly same, but it's done by the backend, not through the front end.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Any speaking of coding, any SDKs or anything I can utilize to help me with that? Calls to the API, things like that.
I have the AWS SDK links. I'll pass along and post them to the channel. We have a new experience configuration. If you want dashboard embedding, you send dashboard embedding configuration. If you want visual embedding, specific visuals, you send that, and then we securely give you the pre-signed URL for creating the embedded in there.
Nice, very nice.
So if I'm new to all of this, the obvious question becomes like, where do I go to get started? Where's the best place to go?
We have lots of resources for this. We have a demo video. You already saw the demo now. We have a blog, and I think we will probably come up with some more content. So if you guys can tune in for it, we will post those on our blog posts and white papers in those. And the blogs that we already have, I'll share those links on the chat there.
Cool.
Very cool, Vijay. Thank you for joining us. Any parting words? I mean, obviously, everyone should go out and start embedding graphs everywhere. Just put them anywhere and everywhere.
Exactly. That's the vision. Now you don't have to be confined with this one analytics page. You can take the data and analytics, apply it in everywhere on your website. Doesn't have to be confined that way. So yeah, thanks for having me here, and really wonderful talking about it. Our feature.
See you, Vijay.
Thank you.
Wow.
Okay. Well, let me get Vijay removed, and now it's just me and you, Steve.
And David. Of course, don't forget David.
I would never forget David, ever, ever. Or Meadow. Meadow was here.
Oh, Meadow. Too. Yeah. We should thank David and Meadow.
Yes, always. Our ASL interpreters are
awesome job.
Incredible. So much better than the hosts. Let me say that.
Oh, yes.
All right, Steve. So we're wrapping up
another show.
AWS On Air together. We need to remind people about the survey.
Yes, we do. Don't forget. We want to hear from you. $10 usage credit, AWS usage credit for the first 50 respondents. So get in quick. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And thanks to everyone who posted in the chat about where they were joining from. There was some great far away countries like Egypt, Nigeria. Where else did I see? There was one other.
Sri Lanka. I think I saw Sri Lanka.
Who? Sri Lanka. Yeah. It's like, wow.
And our friends from, as you'll call them, cloud base.
Yeah, well, you know, the old eyes and the tiny font. I apologize. Couchbase. Couch. I should know better. By this age, I should know better.
It's okay. I'm headed over to my couch space. No.
So am I for a good lie down.
It's horrible. That was horrible of me. I'm really sorry. But you could join us again next Friday for
same
another
time, same channel.
Same channel. Yes. But until then, I've been AM Grabelny. He's been Steve. AM and the Amster and the Brit.
Amster and the Brit. Yeah.
And we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. See you soon.